killers are not being picked up because people are afraid to tell the cops who the killer is. So what happens in Jacksonville, Florida, when this cartoon appears in the paper of a murderer with his Don't Snitch t-shirt, a smoking gun, looking at these two little kids who witnessed the killing? They say, I didn't see nothing.
Black leaders applaud. Black people come out and applaud the bravado of this person telling the truth.
Angry Rich, you would be wrong. Black leaders are calling on the newspaper to fire the cartoonist, Ed Gamble. Now, joining me now is Dr. Juan Gray, chairman of the board of the Southern Christian Leadership Council, Jacksonville chapter. I don't understand why you were angry at the cartoonist when he has simply pointed out part of the reason Jacksonville is burdened with the worst murder rate in Florida.
Well, in due respect, that is not the reason why Jacksonville is burdened with the murder rate in Florida. Jacksonville, Florida is burdened with the murder rate in Florida because this administration and past administrations have systematically gutted economic support to a portion of its population. In 2005, $78 million was not provided to poor members of the community, documented by the city, and a grand total of 50,000 households are affected according to the city.
What has that got to do with no snitching?
Why would, in my letter to the Times-Union, a word I coined called cultural nuance, and I wrote a letter to them explaining historically why would a people talk to a system that historically do not believe them anyway. These police in this town have killed,
Dr. Juan Gray,
slaughtered, gunned down citizens, and not one of them have been judged justified.
Dr. Gray, with all due respect, are you defending people who enforce the no snitching rule in the black community?
There is no snitching rule. No snitching has to do with not talking to the police.
Correct.
Depending upon where you live in the city, where you live will depend upon you being policed, as we are provided police service. So now you're asking the people who are policed to walk up to the police, provide information to them when they, in fact, do not care if we die anyway. And we have had citizens to say that the police have told them, we hope y'all kill everybody and we don't have to worry about it.
Dr. Gray, are you telling me you actually endorse the no snitching rule?
What I'm telling you is that we don't trust the police.
You don't? You will not go be witnesses?
You don't live.
Black people are killing black people, and black people will not go be a witness to the crime?
Look, there is a 1990 disparity study in this town published by white people which says that the city and the judicial system are active agents in discrimination. The system doesn't work. It's broken.
Dr. Gray, you are in complete denial. There are no snitching rules being enforced.
If we provide an economic impetus,
no, Dr. Gray,
poverty,
you just have to tell young people, if you see a murderer, talk to the police.
We don't have to talk to the police.
Tell them who did it. Are you saying that young people should not talk to the police when they know who killed somebody?
What I'm saying is we don't trust the police and we don't trust the justice.
Then you are saying no, don't talk to them.
What I'm saying is we don't trust the system.
You are saying to young people, I suppose you say this from your pulpit in your church, young people do not talk to the police.
I wouldn't talk to the police.
You would live by the no snitching rule?
Where do you get this information that somehow talking to the police going to solve social problems? Help me with that line of thought.
It is called...
Help me to understand...
You help me to understand how do you catch a murderer without telling the police?
How talking to the police is going to stop murder?
Because you catch murderers.
How talking to the police is going to stop education? How is going to take care of
Dr. Gray, you are dissembling. You are...
The situation has nothing to do with the police.
It absolutely has everything to do with the police. If you can't pick up murderers and get them off the street, they continue to kill.
It has to do with economics.
Oh, Dr. Gray, please.
You are completely wasting your time trying to convince me, who live in a town It has to do with economics.
Let me get this straight.
Economic-
You yourself, if you witnessed a murder, would not talk to the police.
Jacksonville, Florida.
Dr. Gray, you would not talk to the police if you witnessed a murder?
Economic injustice is the civil rights.
Dr. Gray, would you talk to the police if you witnessed a murder?
You are stuck on talking to the police. I'm telling you.
You're stuck on this economic stuff, and it doesn't have anything to do with a murder.
Talking to the police is not going to stop crime. It's not going to stop economic injustice.
You know, you got an incredible murder rate there in Jacksonville, and it sounds to me like you are actually in favor of it going on by not talking to the police and actually catching murderers.
I don't know where you get that information from.
You said yourself, I would not
data.
talk to the police.
I don't deal with opinions.
Are you still? Are you sticking by that statement?
Economic injustice is the civil rights of today. We take care of economic injustice. We don't have to worry about murder and snitching and talking to the police.
Really, if I come in and throw money at your community, all of a sudden they're going to tell the police who killed who.
Hey, look, what's your name?
John Gibson.
John Gibson. If you go to the August edition of Black Enterprise magazine, in which I wrote an article, it says, and I quote, that 2006 Jacksonville Community Council Inc. Race Relations Progress Report states that half of all families live below 175% of federal poverty line. There was recently an opportunity for the mayor to provide economic impetus to contractors. He provided $607 million in construction contracts to white contractors, compared on the 4.5%.
Dr. Gray, Dr. Gray, you're filibustering about your favorite little subject, economics, and I'm in sympathy with you, but you told me yourself you wouldn't talk to the police. I just want to pin this down. You witness a murder, you will not be a witness to the authorities?
If I'm called in and have to testify in front of the police, if I have to testify in court and put my hand on the Bible, I'm not going to. I don't trust the police.
Dr. Gray, thanks very much. What am I supposed to say?
That's the most amazing thing I've ever heard.
That is the leader, that's a major pastor in the community, the leader of the Southern Christian Leadership Council, speaking from a city with the highest murder rate in Florida. And
Should be absolutely ashamed of himself.
It's nowhere near the biggest city in Florida. And he says he himself would not talk to the police.
Martin Luther King's rolling over in his grave now.
There is no wonder black people are being killed at such a startling rate in Jacksonville. I'm angry, and you should be too.
Parenting, John Gibson style.
You would turn to me and say, if we were among mixed company, do you want to go outside and have a conversation?
Start the conversation at 888-788-9910 and let Gibby be your daddy now.